All right. Good morning, everyone. Jeff can't be here this morning, so I'll be filling in. We'll go ahead and get started. So let's begin by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap, right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. Try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning. I also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And then begin to let go of attending to the outside world, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are without investigation, constraining your awareness just to the body and mind. And we begin to concentrate that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air as it moves into and back out of the tip of the nostrils, giving yourself the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and then without judgment or frustration to lift your awareness up from those distractions and to place it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more Calm will generate a broad, altruistic motivation for our time. So take a moment to recognize in your own life your own genuine wish to be happy, to be free of even the slightest suffering. Recognize how this motivates your actions, and recognize that you share that with every other sentient being. In that way, there's no difference between oneself and others. Every sentient being is deeply motivated to be happy, to be completely free of suffering. And there are no sentient beings that have a claim that's greater than any other to being successful in accomplishing their goals. And so, given that for me to work only for my own well being, it's very narrow, very limited. I have the potential to be of benefit to countless sentient beings, all of whom are just as deserving as oneself. So try to adopt that brave attitude that seeks the welfare of not only oneself, but of all sentient beings. I think in order to be able to accomplish that goal, I must myself become deeply familiar with constructive, beneficial states of mind, those that naturally, spontaneously support beneficial actions. And I must separate my mind from the influence of destructive states, those that agitate, disturb my own mind, those that often motivate me to act in ways that harm others. By transforming my mind in this way, I will be able to be of benefit to others. We take that as the purpose of our time. And then with that motivation today, the section of the Lamrim that's being contemplated is the suffering of particularly the lower realms, the types of existence where suffering predominates. This is understood to be the animal realm, the realm of what are called in English the hungry ghosts, and the realm that, again in English, they decided to call the hell realms, a state of being unfree. In these realms, there's mainly painful inner and outer experiences. In the animal realm, the predominant experience is one of ignorance, dullness of the mind, as well as a fear of predation, fear of starvation, fear of exposure to the elements. In the hungry ghost realm, the predominant experience is one of unquenchable hunger and thirst, never being satisfied. And the suffering of the hell realms is the most intense, with various kinds of extreme physical and mental pains that are experienced. In many ways, very similar to the depictions in other religious traditions. The purpose of familiarizing our mind with these painful states is to see them as manifestations of our own mind, to see them as having karmic causes that come from our own mind. When we generate ignorance, we create the causes and the conditions to experience it in the animal realm. When we create the karma of greed, envy, and create the causes to experience that energy of never having enough. And when we create intense non virtue of killing, intense forms of malice, torture, then we create the karmic causes to experience that kind of hellish suffering ourselves. So begin to imagine this mind taking rebirth, separating from this body, taking rebirth in the animal realm. The kind of dullness of mind that would arise, as well as the constant vigilance, the constant fear. Trying to get a sense of how different, how deeply unpleasant that experience would be. And think too of the times when you have in the past and you could again in the future take rebirth in the hungry ghost realm, a realm that isn't accessible to human beings, but a realm in which the mind would associate with a form that has large, distended abdomen, tiny, almost imperceptible mouth, and an environment that's almost entirely devoid of sustenance. That lack of sustenance doesn't result in death, it just results in suffering, searching, not finding. I think we ourselves can't even go one day without food, without water, without being extremely distressed. Think of the suffering of these types of sentient beings. And begin to think of the worst kinds of suffering, those in the hell realms, the hot hells, the cold hells, where these forms are beaten, crushed, burned, frozen, stabbed, cut. And yet the forms just regenerate again and again. And the lifetimes of these beings are measured in eons. And think how we can't tolerate even a single cut, a single burn for even a moment. But begin to reflect with a sense of joy in the mind that none of these experiences are characterizing this lifetime. At present, we have a perfect human rebirth with all of its freedoms and endowments, and we can choose to stop creating the causes, mm, rebirths in the lower realms. We can purify existing karmas that might otherwise give rise to such a rebirth. Understanding the law of cause and effect, we can create the kind of future lives that will allow us to continue to practice, accomplish the path, avoid all of this suffering, and to be able to benefit those innumerable sentient beings who are experiencing this suffering. And reflecting in that way, try to give rise to a strong determination to familiarize your mind with virtue, abandon non virtue, to oppose ignorance with wisdom, to oppose greediness with equanimity and contentment. to oppose malice and hatred with love and compassion, and to give rise to that unshakable determination, and then rest your mind in that resolve without distraction. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in your mind. And think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy, for the benefit of all sentient beings, without exception. Thinking strongly, when this positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve this state of enlightenment so that I might work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you.